Cubase and Kontakt, virtual instruments. Let us see how it works in virtual world. I have Cubase open. Now I'm going to open new project. It will be empty project. I want to explain you what is the relation between Cubase and virtual instrument and how it works. From the beginning, then we will listen to the song, how it works in reality. I have empty project. Now I'm going to add around, let us say, 7 virtual tracks or 9 virtual tracks. It doesn't matter really how many tracks. Let us just start at some MIDI tracks. Okay, number of the track will be, okay, let us say 10 tracks. Add tracks. Now we have 10 MIDI tracks. On those 10 MIDI tracks, I want to, for example, record something, and I want to have 10 virtual instruments. So let me add some virtual instruments here. I will add drums, for example, Easy Drummer. I am not going to create MIDI track because I have already 10 tracks. Just I want to add virtual drums. Close it. Now I will add another 9 tracks, and all another tracks will be, for example, Kontakt 6. I'm not going to add MIDI track because I have already MIDI tracks as well. Just I want to open Kontakt player. Inside of Kontakt player, I will add 9 MIDI instruments, 9 virtual instruments. Now I have choice. I can choose those virtual instruments made by native instruments, for example, bass guitar. Then I can add another virtual instrument. I have to wait for a moment. Bass guitar. Now I'll add some piano, for example. Let me add piano. Then I will add another tracks. I will do that this time. I will add my virtual instrument that I made them. It doesn't matter which one. Just add some instruments to fill those tracks. Load recent. Oh, okay, I don't need that bass guitar. I have already bass guitar. Now it doesn't matter really which instrument I will add. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will add one more. 9. So I have 9 virtual instruments here in this player. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this one is MIDI channel number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are MIDI channels. But all of them are on output 1. Now, on those MIDI channels, first one is going to be channel number 1, and I will send it to Kontakt. Next one, channel number 2, Kontakt. So I'm going to send 9 MIDI tracks to Kontakt. Not to Kontakt. Okay, let me go back. Channel number 1, Kontakt 2, Kontakt 3, Kontakt 4, Kontakt 5, Kontakt 6, Kontakt 7, Kontakt 8, Kontakt 9, Kontakt. So 9 MIDI channels. They are going to Kontakt. I will color them for you to know it better, to see it better. they will be yellow. MIDI instruments, so they are going MIDI channels to Kontakt. So channel number 1, instrument number 1 in Kontakt. Channel number 2, instrument number 2 in Kontakt, MIDI channel. You can see MIDI channels output, so MIDI channels here and MIDI channels here, they are identical. Now, channel number 10, I will put another color here. For example, this one. Channel number 10, I will send to Easy Drummer. Now, I will close this. I can call now from this part here, when I choose this track, from that track I will call virtual instrument. Here it is Easy Drummer. I can call it here or I can call it as well here. Now, every another channel here is routed to Kontakt. So channel number 4, if I open it here, is going to Kontakt. That is this one. So what we have now, connected MIDI channels to virtual instruments. But now I want to separate my virtual instrument from Kontakt. I want to separate them. How I can do that? I will open that part outputs. Whatever is here now, forgot about that. Just click on plus sign. And you have 9 instruments in Kontakt. Now I will say quantity 9. All of them will be stereo. And I will start from first one. And I would say delete all channels that exist here. I want to have new 9 channels for those 9 instruments. Forgot about 10. 10 is not going to Kontakt, it is going to Easy Drummer. Let's say OK. Wait for a moment. Now I have here 9 stereo outputs and those auxiliary. Forgot about auxiliary, we don't need them now. We have 9 stereo outputs. And now I will direct every of those instruments to those outputs. First goes to first, then to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, output 9, output 8, and output 9. Now, MIDI channels are routed to MIDI channels here, and outputs, we have separate outputs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 outputs. But we want to see them in Cubase, mix them in Cubase, not here. Presently now, we see, let me remove those audio recording channels. Let us go just, okay, that is MIDI, that one. Okay, now we have MIDI channels. 9 MIDI channels and 10 channel is drums. Those MIDI channels are, let us say, bass. Then we have guitar, for example, now. And we have a chord or a guitar 2. For example, now it doesn't matter which instrument is now. We have here strings. Then we have here violin. Then we have here piano. We have here saxophone. We have here flute. We have here, for example, trumpet. is, for example, yeah, and then we have drums. Drums are going to easy drummers, so we will color drums with the same color. So this is easy drums. Now, as we can see, now drums, MIDI channel drums. Let me close this. MIDI channel drums goes to virtual instrument drums and to virtual output drums. Now I'm not going to separate drums here in this video. We can use another video to explain how to separate drums. Now we will concentrate to see how we can now get those MIDI channels that are going to virtual instruments. We want to see them separately in Cubase, that we can mix them in Cubase. Now I will close this for a moment and put that here. And now open this part, just move it this a little bit up to show you what is going to happen now down here. Now I'm going to go to Kontakt here, click Output and activate Output. When I activate Output, it will show my outputs down. Now I have my Kontakt outputs here. Now I will just rename them. I will give them same names like on MIDI channels. Just copy, paste. Now I can color them with the same color like this. If I go here, make this a little bigger now. Okay, I will open my virtual instruments. They are selected and color them. Now I can close this and go on this mixer, and you can see they are colored. Now, MIDI tracks are yellow and green colors are those outputs. Now, what is going here on? What is going on? I want to explain you now. For those people who doesn't know what is that. So we have MIDI track. On those MIDI track we can record whatever we want to record. They are routed to virtual instruments in Kontakt player, and every track has one instrument. MIDI track number 3 is going to instrument number 3, and there is MIDI track 3, and output is to virtual output here. So how it works in reality, let me open one project, show you that. It is Bosnian folk song. Now, we have some recordings here. Those MIDI tracks are directed to MIDI to virtual instruments. This one was same like in previous video on channel number 10, and this one is to Kontakt, going to Kontakt. We have here outputs that I showed you in another video. We have instruments 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this case, 8, not 9, but it doesn't matter the number of the channels. For example, violin. MIDI channel number 2 is going to violin MIDI channel number 2, and output is virtual output number 8. So first I'm going to solo violin and play it. Okay, now let me just control something else here. Okay. Let me go see something here. Okay, that's fine. There is one problem now. We cannot hear all those instruments because a routing of instruments here. Look at that. We have just that output is going to ASU direct FX, the output. Instead, we don't have all instruments. We have to go to Studio Setup, go to Pro Tools, let me hear something here. Able to hear, but I wasn't able to hear because my headphones were down. Everything is fine, everything is working. Okay, let us concentrate now, continue. Now, violin, solo violin. MIDI channel violin is going to virtual instrument violin here, and output virtual output is output 8. This is virtual output 8. Okay, why do we have this? Why we want to use MIDI recording and virtual instrument and send it to virtual channel? First, when we have MIDI recording, now still I can make some changes here that I cannot make in audio files. I can change tempo, I can change pitch, I can draw some notes and take some advantage that we can use in MIDI world. And still that MIDI file, when I send to virtual instrument and a virtual output, that virtual output is behaving like any another wave output. We can insert effects, for example, EQ, we can use C6 to control the dynamic. We can insert real plugins, like here I have delay or reverb. So I can manipulate with this virtual output like with audio output. And bonus, I have MIDI where I can change tempo and pitch anytime without any sacrifice of the quality. So now if I am listening to whole song, my drums are going to my virtual channel, and my drums are actually here separated, a little bit separated. It is just kick, it is snare, and other drums are here. I can separate even more. Whatever I can want to do, I can just go to my virtual drum. I can go to Easy Drummer and activate outputs, and then if I go to Easy Drummer, I can just go to mixer and direct each element to different output. In this case, I can have separated each element of the drums in virtual output, and I can control them here directly on my mixer. Here, snare. So that's it, how it works in virtual world of virtual instruments. As you can see, all those instruments that I have here, I sampled by me, my made instruments. So, for example, that violin, it was actually sampled from Gino's jazz violin. This is accordion. This one is organ tone accordion, a President 2 that I did sample, and I made that multi-sample for Kontakt. So, and as other instruments, some of them are from original instruments, some of them are from Gino, some of them are from Ketron, some of them are from Yamaha, Motiv, Integra, or any another instrument. So that is how we work with MIDI, that we send to virtual instruments, and we have virtual outputs, and how we separate everything, how we rename everything. So you have here all information about that. Thank you very much for watching this video, and have a great day. Please subscribe